प्राणांश्च हृत्वा मम सर्वमेव पलायसे पुत्रधृतोऽत्यचोरा त्वं भक्तिदाम्नासि मया निरुक्ता चीनस्ति घोरं प्राणांश्च हृत्वा मम सर्वमेव पलायस्य पुत्रधृतोऽत्यचोरा त्वं भक्तिदाम्नासि मया निरुक्ता चीनस्ति घोरं प्राणांश्च हृत्वा मम सर्वमेव कारागृहे दुःखमये निवर्ता तपस्वहे चौरघरे चिराय स्वचौरदोषोचितमेव दण्डम् कारागृहे वससता श्रुतये मदीये
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
जभन्तनैश्चलसन् त्वं कृष्ण हे प्रलयकोटिशतान्तरेऽपि
प्रभु जी, I think प्रभु जी has joined प्रभु जी।
कथोरहृदयान् न हि मोचयामि व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं हृदयस्य चोरम्
Hare Krishna, Sri Karta Das, Prabhuji, welcome to Kanya Desh.
I think प्रभु जी is not unmuted himself.
Yeah, he's mute. I think he out.
Maybe he will join again प्रभु जी।
एकजन्मार्चितपापं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि श्रीराधिकाया हृदयस्य चौरं नवामृतस्यामलकान्तिचौरं पदाश्रितानां च समस्त
Hare Krishna, Sri Karta Das, Prabhuji, welcome. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I think can we unmute प्रभु जी to Shikarta प्रभु जी? I think he is not.
We cannot do it from here. We can ask him.
Hare Krishna, Shikarta प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna.
Okay प्रभु जी, now
Hare
you can.
Krishna,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Welcome to Kanya Desh.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you please put on your video also? Yes, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavad pranams. Welcome to Kanya Desh.
Dandavad pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavad pranam, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Dandavad pranam. Prabhuji, another 2 more minutes. Devotees are joining.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees for our Purushottam month Srimad Bhagavatam Sravanam series. Today we are on 25th day and we will be covering Canto 10, chapter 34 to 52 chapters. And we have His Grace Sri Karta Das Prabhuji with us. So I wish to invite Sri Kanaganga Chaitanya Prabhu to introduce Prabhuji to all of us. Kanaganga Chaitanya Prabhu, please do the introduction.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Manikushan Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. We welcome you in our Kanaya Desh Yatra for this Srimad Bhagavatam Sunan Saptah in this Purushottam month. I would like to tell a little bit about Prabhuji. That Prabhuji has done his BTech from Delhi Technological University. After that, Prabhuji has worked as a data analyst in Capgemini company. And since 2012, Prabhuji is serving ISKCON Punjabi Bagh as a full-time brahmachari. Prabhuji has preached over NIIT Allahabad and IIT Roorkee also. Prabhuji is the disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And Prabhuji is actively participating in the book distribution in Punjabi Bagh Temple, and he is a book distribution in charge in Punjabi Bagh Temple. He is also taking care of a Gurugram base of working devotees. Prabhuji is well known for his two beautiful service, that is a devotee care and book distribution. Prabhuji's team has distributed 30,000 books last year in 2019. So we welcome His Grace Sikarta Prabhuji in Kanaya Desh for giving us this opportunity to hear from him this nectarian Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll welcome Prabhuji by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Now over to you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I'd like to thank all devotees and Kanaka Chaitanya Prabhu, Mani Bhushan Krishna Prabhu for inviting me and giving me opportunity for serving all the Vaishnavas who are so wonderfully serving at Kuwait. So we'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksharam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuva Evacha Patitano Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we are discussing in the Purushottam Mass the great Srimad Bhagavatam, and now we are on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is compared with the body of the Lord Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. And the 10th canto is also compared with the beautiful mouth, the Mukharvind of the Supreme Lord. So whole Bhagavatam is wonderful and very nectarian, but especially 10th canto is most nectarian and most beautiful, and we are discussing on it. So we are having a great fortune in the month of Purushottam month, which is a very auspicious month, and we are discussing with the 34th chapter. Last time 33rd chapter was discussed till 33rd, and now we are discussing with 34th chapter. So before this, you must have all have heard yesterday that Krishna performed Ras Leela, and Ras Leela happened in the month of autumn, Sharad Ritu. And after the autumn month, what comes is Holi. And between the autumn and the Holi comes the Shivratri. So what happened once, all the cowherd men of Vrindavan, headed by Nand Maharaj, they wanted to visit Ambikavan to observe the Shivratri ceremony. Because Lord Shiva is Vaishnava Nam, observe festival of Shivratri to worship Lord Shiva. So similarly, all the Brajvasis went to Ambikavan. And where is this Ambikavan? Ambikavan is actually situated at the near Gujarat province, and it is at the bank of Saraswati. So after reaching Ambikavan, all the cowherd men took bath in the river Saraswati. And because it is a custom that we should take bath when we go to holy places, and then we should observe the fast. Similarly, all the cowherd men observed the fast, took bath, and then they slept that night on the bank of Saraswati. And what happened after they were taking rest? All the cowherd men were there, and Nand Maharaj was there. A great serpent came from the nearby forest. A great serpent came, and that serpent was very hungry and was trying to swallow up Nand Maharaj. And Nand Maharaj cried out helplessly, Krishna, Krishna, please save me from this danger. So as soon as Nand Maharaj cried out, all the cowherd men woke up and they tried to beat the snake, whatever they were having, their log, burning logs were there. So they were trying to beat the snake. But snake was not getting any effect. So he was again and again trying to swallow Nanda Maharaj. So at that time, what happened? Krishna appeared on the scene, because Krishna was also there, and Krishna appeared on the scene, and he touched the serpent with his lotus feet. And as soon as the serpent was touched by the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, the serpent, who was in this reptilian body, and he appeared a very beautiful Vidyadhara, Gandharva, a very beautiful Vidyadhar appeared from the wonderful learning which we get, that one should not be proud, first of all, and when a sadhu curses, then it is always a welfare, then it is always a good for us. When a sadhu curses, then because he was cursed, therefore he got the body of Vidya. He was cursed, and ultimately he was relieved of this proud, his pride mentality, and was ultimately and got the body of Vidyadhara when it was touched by Krishna. So that was how Vidyadhara liberated. And then the pastime comes of a demon Sankhachuda, who was also killed. So what happened? Once all these Vrajvasis and the cowherd boys, they were enjoying in the company of many young beautiful girls. And at that time, what happened? A demon, Sankhachuda, who was very envious that why Krishna and Balram are enjoying and his Shankachuda was belonging to the rich community of Kuvera. So he was thinking that we are rich, we are enjoying. So what happened? He took a he entered with Krishna and Balram, and then the demon tried to flee all the gopis, but Krishna caught hold of him and killed him. And so Krishna made him into incesses because he was very proud, and he was thinking that I am a very rich person. So he was envious of the Supreme Lord. The most important thing is that he was envious of the Supreme Lord, that why Krishna is enjoying with the cowherd girls, that I should enjoy, because so therefore with this pastime, with this chapter, we get the learning that one should not be proud and one should not be envious. Very important. Shankachuda was envious of the Supreme Lord, and that Vidyadhara was proud of his beauty, so he was cursed by that Angira Muni, and ultimately by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, he was liberated. Okay, so Vidyadhar Udhar and Shankachuda Udhar ki jai. Then next comes the 35th chapter. So this chapter is known as Yugal Geet. So Krishna, as we heard in 21st chapter, that is known as Venu Geet. So in this also the gopis who were there in Vrindavan, and there when Krishna used to go for grazing the cows in the forest, so gopis were remembering the Supreme Lord, and in their remembrance, they were remembering the different features of the Supreme Lord, different activities, different pastimes, and different how Lord is so beautiful. So therefore, they are remembering the Shrivat's jewel of the Supreme Lord, his chest, and how they are remembering that Lord is worshipped not only by animals, even by the rivers and even by the lakes of Vrindavan. The Lord is attractive to even humans, even animals, and even inanimate objects like rivers. River Yamuna stops as soon as Krishna and Balram plays his flute. So gopis are remembering all these things, and they are in their discussion. They are discussing all these things. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Machitta madgat prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha." That the great devotees of mine, Machitta madgat prana bodhayanta parasparam, what they do, they discuss about my pastimes, and by discussing those pastimes, what happened, they feel satisfied. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha, and they feel refreshed and satisfied, and happiness comes into their heart. So therefore gopis, when Krishna is in their absence, so gopis are remembering the Supreme Lord, and they are discussing about the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Okay, and they are discussing how even trees are also wanting to serve Krishna. When Krishna plays flute, everyone becomes stunned. And when Krishna is going for grazing the cows, the trees are bowing down. They want to deliver their fruits, flowers, honeys from their branches. So all these are remembrance by the gopis. Okay, and so these are the remembrance. So from the 35th chapter, the gopis feeling of separation, we get a wonderful learning that one should discuss about the Supreme Lord, his pastimes, and that's how one will always be satisfied. Because Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the examples of the gopis is very instructive to person who are trying to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. We can learn from the examples of the gopis that one can easily associate with the Supreme Lord just by remembering his pastime. Because we all want to love someone. Therefore, our loving tendency should be imposed towards Krishna. That Krishna should be the object of our love. And that can happen by discussing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord and by chanting the name of the Supreme Lord. One can become fully Krishna consciousness by these two things, by chanting the name and by discussing the pastime. And he can make his life. So therefore, the 35th chapter gives us the remembrance, the gopis, remembrance gopis feeling of separation and how they are remembering the Supreme Lord in the absence. Okay, so now the 36th chapter, which has been entitled as Kansa sends Akrura for Krishna. So what happened before this? Actually, a very wonderful pastime of killing of Aristasur comes. So you remember what happened? Once there was a demon known as Aristasur, and he came in the form of a great bull, and he wanted and to disturb the whole Vrindavan. And his body was very big, stout and strong, as if the clouds were touching with his horns. So that was the size of that bull. And when he entered Aristasur, Aristasur lifted his tail and he wanted to capture Krishna and wanted to kill all the Vrindavan Vasis. But Krishna immediately caught hold of his horn. Horn were there, you know, bulls are having horn, and he tossed him like an elephant, just as a gigantic elephant. Srila Prabhupada writes, just as a gigantic elephant repels a small inimical elephant, Krishna caught hold of his horn and tossed him away. Okay, so after killing of Aristasur, because Aristasur was in the form of bull, so gopis, cowherd girls, they were accusing Krishna that you have killed a bull. Bull represents the dharma and cow represents the mother. We see a bull is like father. So you have killed the bull, so you have to be punished. So you have to take the bath in all the holy rivers. So you remember this is a very famous, the appearance of Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. So Krishna struck his foot with the land of Vrindavan, and then with his foot he dig the earth, he dig the land of Vrindavan, and he calls all the holy rivers, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmada, Ganga, Jamuna, all the rivers into that place and takes a bath. And that's how Shyam Kund is created. And then Krishna tells them that now you have also participated with the bull, you have participated with the side of demon, so you also need to be purified. So then he tells them, you also need to take bath in this, all the holy places of rivers. Then gopis headed by Radha Rani, they tells, no, we can create our own kunda and we will go to Manasi Ganga and bring all the water from Manasi Ganga and bring it here. And then they bring all the waters, and eventually what happens, that a personified holy river, personification of holy rivers, he requests Radha Rani that please allow me that I can bring all the rivers, rivers into that dig which was made by bangles of gopis, and that's how Radha Kund was created. So that was the appearance of Radha Kund and Shyam Kund, and Radha Kund is very, very dear to the Supreme Lord. Lord Krishna says that as Radha Rani is very dear to me, similarly his kunda, that is Radha Kunda. Okay, so that's how Radha Kunda and Shyam Kund appearance comes. And then what happened, that when Kansa got this information from Narad Muni, that actually Narad Muni wanted to expedite the pastime. So therefore Narad Muni goes to Kansa and tells that Krishna has been born, you know, that 8th child, and he is there in Vrindavan. So please try to kill him. And then what Kansa does? Kansa sends a Akrura. Kansa sends Akrura because Akrura was very confidential, trustworthy person of Kansa, and he tells that you go to Vrindavan and bring Krishna to Mathura. And for what? You should tell them that there will be a sacrificial arena and Dhanur Yajna will be performed. So by that, all the Vrindavan Vasi will be invited, and we will invite that Krishna and Balram for the wrestling match, and I will he shared all the plans with Akrura. Champion wrestlers, all Shola, all my special wrestlers, and Krishna will be killed by them. And I will appoint my best of the elephant, Kualia Pida, and that's how Krishna will be killed. So he had made a plan, and he told Akrura that you go to Vrindavan and bring Krishna back to Mathura. Okay, then Kansa goes, Akrura goes to Mathura. So that's how the end of this 36th chapter, then 30, and what happened that 30, and then in between what happened, actually the day when Akrura was leaving for Vrindavan, on that day only what happened, KC demon and 2 demon were came in the morning to be killed by Krishna, and they were sent by Kamsa only. That their name was KC demon and Vyomasura. KC demon came in the form of a terrible horse. And how Krishna killed him? Krishna, although Krishna's hands are very soft, Krishna put his left hand into the mouth of KC demon. And that's how KC was completely, he was feeling great pain, and as if the hand of Krishna was looking as if hot iron rod. And immediately his teeth fell out. And that's how KC demon was killed. And Vyomasura, how Vyomasura was killed? Vyomasura was killed, actually Krishna with his coward boys were playing some game. That game was of chor police, we say. The thieves and police are there, police constables are there. So they were chupan chupai in Hindi we say. So they were playing all those games in a very jovial mood, all these coward boys. And then Vyomasura, he came in the form of a cowherd boy. He mixed with those cowherd boys only. And like yes, Vyomasura took the part of a cowherd boy playing as a thief. And then what he did, he stole many of the calves. He stole many of the cow and cowherd boys and put them into a mountain. And as soon as Krishna came to know about this, so Krishna killed Vyomasura and with great force, and he killed him just as animal is killed in the slaughterhouses. That's how Vyomasura was killed. So these 2 demons were killed by Krishna on the same day when Akrura was leaving for Vrindavan, okay, as told by Kamsa. So now Akrura arrives in Vrindavan, and when he is going to Vrindavan, Akrura, what he is feeling? He is feeling in the mood of prayers. And while going to the journey of Vrindavan, Akrura is completely in the mood of prayerful mood. So with Akrura, we can learn when we visit Dham, when we visit Vrindavan, what should be our consciousness. That is shown by Akrura. Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Akrura's journey to Vrindavan is exemplary. One who intends to visit Vrindavan should follow the ideal footstep of Akrura and always think of the pastimes and the activities of the Lord. Akrura, while going to Vrindavan, was always thinking of the pastimes and the activities of the Supreme Lord. And when he reached Vrindavan, what he did? Very important learning for all of us. He touched the dust of Vrindavan over his body. Because as soon as we enter into Vrindavan, what we should do? We should lie down ourselves and pay obeisances to whole Vrindavan. And what it signifies actually, it signifies that we do not care of our material position and prestige. Because a person who is very rich, a person who is very powerful, is having a lot of prestige, he does not feel to bow down. So by bowing down, we actually become humble and we become free from false prestige. And that is the mood of entering into Vrindavan. And Akrura is showing through his own behavior that how to enter into Vrindavan? By falling ourselves to the dust of Vrindavan. Okay, so that's how Akrura enters into Vrindavan by thinking of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and in a prayerful mood, we should enter into Vrindavan. Like when we also go to Vrindavan, like we are from Delhi, when we go to, although Vrindavan is very near to us, but when we go to Vrindavan, it is recommended that we go while completely doing chanting for 3 hours, doing chanting with all the devotees in train, or when we are going by bus, by any means, we should, because then the mood is created. because Vrindavan, we should have a right mood so that we can access Vrindavan properly. So that was being exemplified by Akrura. Okay. And then Akrura, when he reaches Vrindavan, he was very warmly welcomed by Lord Krishna and Nand Maharaj. Okay. And Krishna, Balram, they gave him a very nice place to sit. They gave him a very nice place to take rest, and they offered him all the food and all the comfort, whatever they can provide to him. So by this we can learn that how to receive the guest. Krishna and Balram is teaching all of us. And then Akrura tells Krishna about the purpose of his coming to Vrindavan. That what is the purpose of his coming to Vrindavan? To take him back to Mathura, as told by Kamsa. So although Akrura was a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, he was knowing that although Kamsa is calling Krishna, but actually Kamsa is inviting his death. And Krishna was also not afraid of Kamsa because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So actually through Narad Muni is making the pastime very quickly, and he wanted to expedite the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and therefore he made all these things. And Akrura is actually, now someone will say Akrura is a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. Why is serving Kamsa? Oh, he's serving Kamsa because he was in this custody, and now he's getting the opportunity of seeing Krishna and meeting with Krishna, and that was his desire actually. So when Akrura explained all the plans of Kamsa, then Krishna heard them and laughed at it. He says, yes, no problem. And then Krishna told, yes, we will go to Mathura, no problem. And Krishna told to Nand Maharaj that we should plan to go to Mathura. And Nand Maharaj, with all his cowherd men and with all his paraphernalia, milk, cow products and everything, they joined for, and with all cows, bulls, all paraphernalia, everyone, and they went to Mathura. Yes. Okay. And when Krishna is leaving Vrindavan, so that scene is very, very pitiable for whom? Gopis, who are the topmost devotees of the Soul Lord. And they are cursing Akrura. You are not Akrur, you are cruel. You are cruel. Although your name is Akrura, but you are cruel. You do not care for us. And we have given our life. We have left everything for just loving Krishna. And then they condemn the activities of Akrura. You do not know what you are doing. And they try to chase Krishna. And Akrura is taking Krishna and Balram into the new chariot to Vrindavan. And the gopis are seeing Krishna. That now Krishna is going, and at the end they see only the flag and the dust in which Krishna is going into the chariot to Vrindavan, to Mathura. Okay. And when Akrura is returning to Vrindavan, Akrura is returning to Mathura, and in between what he sees the Vishnu Loka pastime, that he sees that Krishna's supremacy, Krishna's opulence, that although Krishna was there in chariot with Akrura, and while in between Yamuna river came, and Akrura went to take bath, and there also he saw the universal, that Krishna is being worshipped by all the demigods, Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, everyone is worshipping Krishna. So Akrura understood that Krishna is a great personality. And then he also starts offering prayers to Krishna. And the very important prayers which Akrura is doing to Krishna, we can learn from the prayers when we see in the whole Bhagavatam, when any great personality is praying to Krishna, there is a sequence of doing prayers. First of all, we should appreciate the opulence of the Supreme Lord, the great majesty of the Supreme Lord. And then we should thank the Supreme Lord that what he has done for us. And at the end, we should ask some favor from the Supreme Lord. These are the three aspects of doing prayers. Like you see prayers by Kunti Maharani, prayers by Bhishma Dev, all these great personality, when they do prayers, When we go in front of the Supreme Lord, we just not at the first place ask some favor from the Supreme Lord. First of all, we should glorify, we should appreciate the Supreme Lord. And second, we should express our gratitude that what Lord has already done for us. He has already done so much for us. And then whatever our desires, whatever favor we want from the Supreme Lord, that we should ask. Okay. So Akrura is also teaching us by these examples. So Akrura does a very wonderful prayers when he sees the universal characteristic of the Supreme Lord. That Lord, although Lord was there in the chariot, Krishna and Balaram, and he was also there in Yamuna river, and with his four-handed form being worshipped by all Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, all demigods being worshipped. So Akrura understand that Krishna is all majesty, all powerful, and he expresses prayers to the Supreme Lord. Okay. Then now Akrura with Krishna and Balrams enters to Mathura. Okay. And when they both enter Mathura, so what happened? Krishna sees Mathura. How Mathura is so, it is made of first class marble and very well constructed. Pure gold is there and gorgeous orchards, beautiful gardens are there, and whole city was very perfectly designed and no scarcity was there, all opulence was there. So that's how Krishna and Balram sees, and they were struck. They liked that Mathura city. Okay. And when they enter into Vrinda, Mathura, that there are very wonderful happenings which happen. So first of all, they meet with first person, that is known as washerman. You must have heard all these things. First of all, they met with one washerman, and Krishna asked them for the clothing, but washerman denies that I am a servant of Krishna, I am a servant of Kamsa, so this cloth is made for Kamsa. So what happened? Krishna and Balram punished him. With his hand, he separated the washerman's head from his body because he denied the request of Krishna. Okay, that was that happened with washerman. And then one devotee tailor met with Krishna, and he actually offered very beautiful clothing to Krishna and Balram. And when Krishna and Balram became very much pleased with that tailor and gave him Sarupya Mukti. And the third person which Krishna and Balram met, he was the florist named Sudama. This Sudama is different from the Sudama Brahman, which we generally know. And he also offered a very beautiful garland and a beetle nuts and a pulp of chandan to the Supreme Lord, and Lord also became satisfied with it. So Lord met with these three personalities. So we can learn from this that whatever opportunity we get to serve the Lord, we should offer it. And by this, we will only be benefited. Lord is always complete. Om Purnamadha Purnamada Purnam. That Purna Purnasya Purna Om Purnamadha Purnam. That Lord is always complete. He is complete whole. So, but by serving the Supreme Lord, we only become the benefit. And by not serving the Supreme Lord, we only become baffled. That happened with whom? That washerman who denied the request of Krishna. And what he got? His body got severed from the hand of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so these three personalities were met by Krishna. And then when Krishna enters into Mathura, after meeting with these three personalities, Krishna meet with a hunchback woman. She was like Hoovered, we say in Hindi. Like a hunchback young woman was there. So Krishna asked that please, she actually served Krishna. She wanted to serve Krishna, and that she applied sandalwood to the body of the Supreme Lord. Krishna became very satisfied, and Krishna touched his cheek and pulled it, and that's how that hunchbacked woman become very beautiful girl. Okay, So just by serving Krishna, she became very beautiful. Okay. She was the fourth personality who met with Krishna. Okay, when Krishna was entering into Vrindavan. So first person did the service of the Lord, and three persons served. One became beautiful, one got Sarupya Mukti, and one got what? One that flourished, that also became very happy and satisfied just by serving Krishna. So the very important learning for all of us, whenever we get the opportunity of serving Krishna, we should serve it. It is for our welfare. Because Srila Prabhupada writes in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that by serving Krishna, everything becomes auspicious, everything becomes flourished. Material prosperity follows after spiritual welfare, spiritual advancement. When we grow spiritually, everything will be followed, everything will follow us. So that was, we can learn from these four personalities. Because who served Krishna, they became beautiful, Krishna became satisfied, they got mukti, and they got all the opulence in this life, and ultimately they went back home back to God. Okay. And then Krishna, when enters into Vrindavan, Krishna when enters into Mathura, Krishna goes for Dhanur Yagya, which was done by, for which Kamsa invited them. And Krishna break the bow in the sacrificial arena, first of all, and he showed his prowess. And when Kamsa heard that sound of the breaking of the bow, he became fearful. And when Kamsa heard that breaking of the sound, his heart became palpitated. Okay. And he thought that Krishna is not a normal human being. So Kamsa understood that by this act. And then Kamsa invited, as was planned, that to the sacrificial arena and ultimately to the wrestling match. So in the sacrificial arena, Krishna broke the bow. That was the first part. And then when Krishna was entering into the wrestling match, at the entrance, there was a great elephant with the name of Kuvalia Pida. So he was a very great elephant, and Krishna, with his all dexterity, killed that elephant, Kuvalia Pida. And then he entered into the wrestling match. And in those wrestling match, there was a great wrestlers. Those great wrestlers were whom? Chanur, Mushtika, and they were very great wrestlers, and they had a lot of strength. Thousands of elephant strength were there in their hand. So how fighting happens? So Krishna confronted whom? Chanur. You can remember this. There are 5 wrestlers, and then Balram confronted whom? Mushtika. So Krishna with Chanur and Balram with Mushtika, and they were fighting in the wrestling arena. And ultimately, by the power of Krishna and Balram, they actually pushed them and killed them. And then what happened next was the who? Just 1 minute. Then come the Kuta. Kuta was killed by Balram. And then come Sala and Toshala. And Sala and Toshala were killed by Krishna. So 3 wrestlers were killed by Krishna and 2 wrestlers were killed by Balrama. Who were killed by Krishna? Sala, Toshala and Chanura. And Mushtika and Kuta were killed by Balrama. So that's how. And although actually Krishna and Balram, when they were fighting, many of the residents of Mathuravasi, they were feeling that it is an injustice. Krishna and Balram are very soft. And how they can fight with these big wrestlers? So therefore Krishna, because all those Mathuravasis, their heart were becoming tensed, that Krishna is now in this wrestling arena. So Krishna did not want to make their tension prolonged. So therefore Krishna and Balaram, what they did, they expedite the pastime and killed all these wrestlers. And when they were killed, actually Kansa became very fearful. Kansa came to know now his death has come very nearby. Because Krishna, if can kill these 5 wrestlers who were the topmost strength of Kamsa. Kamsa had sent so many demons and those were killed by Krishna. That was okay. But Kamsa was thinking that these are my 5 topmost wrestlers. If Krishna can kill them, then he can kill me also surely. So Kamsa was very, very fearful and was. Then what happened? Kamsa and therefore Krishna, from this wrestling arena, he jumped into the dais of Kamsa. When Kamsa was there on the throne, and Krishna went to that near to the throne and killed Kamsa also. And Kamsa, it's a very wonderful fight. Krishna took the crown from the head of Kamsa and grabbed his long hair in his hand and he threw him down and ultimately killed him with his fist. With his fist, Krishna killed Kamsa and Kamsa lost his vital force. Okay, so that's how Kamsa was killed by Krishna when he entered into Mathura. Okay, then comes now Vasudeva and Devaki were imprisoned by Kamsa and they were always arrested by Kamsa and they were in like they could not enjoy the pastimes with Krishna and their own child. So then they were relieved and Ugrasen was made as the king. So they were very happy and satisfied and what they did, they wanted to do this Gayatri Diksha of Krishna and Balaram, second birth. First birth by the parents and second birth by the spiritual master. So they took this opportunity and they offered sacred thread ceremony to Krishna and Balaram, and which was very important for the higher caste of human society. And Krishna and Balaram accepted that, very duly accepted that Gayatri ceremony, the thread giving ceremony, and from their spiritual master. And who was their spiritual master? Sorry, Garg Muni. Garg Muni was their they were initiated by this family priest Gargacharya, who is also known as Garg Muni, and was initiated into this Gayatri mantra. Okay, and Krishna learned from the instruction. Who was the instructing spiritual master of Krishna and Balaram? Sandipuni Muni. And Garg Muni was there, this family priest who gave them this Gayatri mantra, but they were trained in spiritual life by whom? By Sandipuni Muni. So in 64 days and 64 nights, Krishna and Balaram went to the ashram of Sandipuni Muni, which is near Ujjain, Avantipura, and in Madhya Pradesh, and they learned all the great arts and science, kalas, Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna and Balaram learned all these arts from whom? Sandipuni Muni. And when he learned all these art, so what happened? We want to offer something to the Guru. Because when we take some siksha from Guru, we should offer back something to the Guru. So then they wanted to offer, that is known as Guru Dakshina. So Krishna and Balaram wanted to offer Guru Dakshina back to Sandipuni Muni. So he told them, please tell me, how can I serve you, my Guru Maharaj? And then Sandipuni was told that my son, who were drowned in the ocean, in the Prabhas Kshetra, so I wanted to recover them. And Krishna and Balaram went to the ocean and then ultimately to the abode of Yamraj, and then he brought those son of his spiritual master Sandipuni. And Sandipuni became very happy and satisfied by their service. That Krishna and Balaram went to the Yamraj, to the Yamlok, for doing the service to the spiritual master. That was the devotion and that was a surrender of the Krishna and Balaram to their spiritual master. Although Krishna and Balaram is the supreme personality of Godhead, but he is showing by his own example that how to serve one spiritual master and as a Guru Dakshina. So Sandipani Muni became very satisfied with Krishna and Balaram, and he gave them benediction, very important benediction, that whatever you will speak, my benediction is, it will always remain eternally fresh as the instruction of the Vedas. Okay, therefore we see Bhagavad Gita is always refreshing for all of us. Okay, so Krishna and Balaram are there in Mathura, and actually what happened, Nand Maharaj goes back to Vrindavan, but Krishna and Balaram does not go back to Vrindavan because he had the fear that Jarasandh and other demon may attack Mathura and similarly to Vrindavan, because Kamsa was killed and Jarasandh may become very unsatisfied or may want to take revenge. So therefore he may attack Mathura and Vrindavan. So therefore Krishna wanted to stay in Vrindavan, in Mathura only. But by this what happened? All these gopis, cowherd girls, Nand Maharaj, Yashoda Mata, although they went to Vrindavan, but they were all they were in grief. They were having feeling of separation. And they were completely unsatisfied because of Krishna told, I will kill Kamsa, and then I will come back. But he has not come back. Nand Maharaj has come back, but Krishna has not come back. So therefore gopis are accusing Krishna, and they are thinking that Krishna is a great cheater and a great buffler. And in that sense, because gopis are the topmost devotees of the Supreme Lord, they are completely thinking of Krishna, and their feeling of separation is becoming more and more and more and more, and they are thinking of Krishna more and more and more and more. So they were completely absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Lord. And that's how what happened. Krishna sends Uddhava, who is a very close friend of Krishna, to the Vrindavan to pacify the feeling of separation of the gopis and the cowherd girls. Okay, so Uddhava went to Vrindavan, and Uddhava, when went to Vrindavan, he sees the devotion of Nand Maharaj and Yashoda, how they are completely absorbed in thinking of the Supreme Lord. He says, and although Uddhava he was a disciple of Brihaspati, greatest learned, but Krishna actually, why he sent Uddhava, Krishna wanted, through the lesson of Uddhava, he wanted to teach all of us that one may be a great scholar, one may be a great Pandit, but that great Pandit and great scholar should also learn from Vrindavan Vasis how to love Krishna. Love is something different. So great scholars also has to learn from Vrindavan Vasis how to love Krishna. Okay, that was the purpose of Krishna sending Uddhava to Vrindavan. And Uddhava, especially when he meets with the gopis, then he comes to know how they are completely absorbed in the remembrance of the Supreme Lord. And Uddhava meets with Radharani, and Radharani is talking with Bumblebee, considering it to be the messenger of Krishna. And Radharani, like a person who is very absorbed in his beloved, becomes mad. So their gopis were becoming mad in that sense. And that Uddhava could see their devotion, their love, and their complete absorption. So great acharyas tell actually that was a symptom of Mahabhav, which has been described by Srila Rupa Goswami Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, so that's how Uddhava could study that characteristics and that love of Vrindavan Vasi. And he aspires that I should become like a, I'll just read the very wonderful translation. That I want to become at the gopis, I want to become like a grass in the land of Vrindavan, so that gopis could trample me. I can get the dust of Vrindavan Vasis. That was a desire of Uddhava when he when he studied the characteristics and love of the Vrindavan Vasis. And then Uddhava gives the message to the gopis, which Krishna has given to him. And when gopis and cowherd girls hear that message, they actually become pacified. Because when they think that now, okay, their feeling of separation were quite got mitigated. That Krishna loves us. Krishna is recognizing us. So that is known as union to some extent. Separation in union. Separation, union. So that is the greatest Mahabhav in the stage of topmost devotion service that happens. And when gopis got the message of Krishna, then they become somewhat pacified. Okay. And then what happens? So then gopis became pacified, and Krishna, although when Krishna met with that hunchbacked woman, Kubja, so then Kubja had offered at that time only that Krishna, please come to my house and satisfy me. But at that time, Krishna had denied her, not denied, had postponed her proposal. Because Krishna had come to Mathura for what? To his duty of killing Kamsa and to release his father and mother, Vasudev and Devaki. That was the desire of Krishna. So he postponed that desire of Kubja, that hunchbacked woman. But Krishna always want to reciprocate with his devotees. As much as a devotee tries to please Krishna, Krishna tries to please them. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam sateva bhajameham mamvartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasa. As one worship me, I reciprocate accordingly. So therefore Krishna never, when we take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 99 steps towards us. So although that hunchbacked woman desired to invite Krishna to her house and wanted to satisfy her lusty desires, so Krishna fulfilled her lusty desires, but Krishna was not having any lusty desire. Actually, Krishna wanted to purify her lusty desire and wanted to make her into a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. Okay, that was the desire of Krishna, and Krishna went to her house and satisfied Kubja. And that's how Krishna reciprocated with his devotees and ultimately made her into a pure devotee. That was the that's how Krishna reciprocated with Kubja. And when Krishna also came to Mathura, then Akrura also invited actually at the first, please come to our house, like that Kubja. But Krishna again had denied at that time. But after now killing Kamsa, and everything is now over, and now he has released Vasudeva and Devaki. Now Krishna fulfilled the desire of Akrura also, and Krishna goes to his house also, and Akrura welcomes Krishna and satisfies Krishna. That was so. This shows that Krishna actually reciprocates with his devotees. Krishna reciprocated with Kubja. Krishna reciprocated with Akrura. They both had the desire to invite Krishna. Although at that time Krishna postponed both of their desire because Krishna had come for the other purpose. But ultimately Krishna remembers his devotees. Krishna remembers how to serve, how to reciprocate, and how to serve and how to reciprocate with his own devotees. As one tries to please Krishna, Krishna also reciprocates accordingly. So Krishna is the perfect master. And now Uddhava says in 11th canto, Tasmad bhavantam manavatyam ananta param sarvagya ishwaram akuntha vikuntha dishnayam. He says that you are the perfect master. In this world, no one can reciprocate the way you reciprocate. You are always protector. You can protect one from the birth, death, old age, disease. You recognize even a small service of your servant. So that is your characteristics. And you are Sarvagya, you are omniscient, Ananta Param. You can deliver us So that is the glorification of the Supreme Lord done in Vedic scripture, that he is actually the perfect master for all of us. We always want to serve someone, so we should serve one who deserves the service, and that is the Supreme Lord. Okay, and that's how Krishna reciprocated with Akrura and Kupcha. And now Krishna wanted to know about his one more devotees. Who are they? Pandavas. Although Krishna was in Mathura, but he is now remembering Pandavas. Oh, they are in Hastinapur, and their father Pandu has got died, and now they are in the custody of Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra is very, very envious. And Dhritarashtra is ill-motivated. He wants to take the side of Duryodhana. Although Dhritarashtra is blind from his eyes, he is blind from his character also. So how Pandavas are doing at Hastinapur, and therefore he sends Akrura to know the condition of Pandava. And Akrura study the condition of Pandava and report back to Kamsa. And Krishna. Akrura reports Krishna about the condition of the Pandavas. And that's how Krishna again, then we know that Krishna comes to Hastinapur and whole Mahabharata happens, and Krishna gives the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and ultimately Pandavas were victorious. Okay. So that's how Krishna cares for his devotees. Although Krishna was in Mathura, but Krishna cared for his devotees who were in Hastinapur. And he sends Akrura for finding out that. Okay. And then in Mathura, what happens? Krishna was attacked by Jarasandha. Jarasandha attacked Krishna 17 times with his military flanks. And Krishna, although retaliated it, but once what happened, Jarasandha, there was one more demon, Kalyavan, who also joined Jarasandha, and they both were attacking Krishna. And all the Mathura Vasis and all, they forfeited, like they covered whole Mathura, the Jarasandha and Kalyavan. So Krishna wanted to protect his devotees and want to engage himself in fighting. So what he did, he erected the Dwarka forest. He erected the Dwarka fort, forest. He erected the Dwarka fort and put all the Mathura Vasis into that fort. And in a very jovial mood and in a very relaxed mood, he fought with Jarasandha and Kalyavana. Okay, that's how. And Jarasandha, that's how Krishna made this Dwarka fort. And ultimately what happened, the next chapter says that then Jarasandha again tried to attack Krishna actually, and then Krishna, because wanted to meet with a devotee, wanted to please whom? Rukmani, because Rukmani had sent the love letter. So therefore Krishna did not care for Jarasandha's 18th attack, and he fled from there. He flew from there, and therefore Krishna is known as Ranchor. So sometimes people say Krishna flew from the battlefield. No, Krishna flew from the battlefield. That is, therefore he is known as Ranchor. But for what purpose? To satisfy his devotee. Krishna is ready to be called as Ranchor, or Krishna is ready to be loved by the general people. Krishna is ready to be joked by the general people for satisfying his devotees. So, but a real devotee can understand that why Krishna actually flew from the battlefield. Because Krishna could have killed. Krishna actually attacked Jarasandha 17 times, and he actually defeated Jarasandha 17 times. And on the 18 times, Krishna flew, because at that time, a very important love letter from Rukmini had come. So therefore, Krishna is called as Ranchor Rai, and therefore there's a very beautiful temple, Ranchor Rai, in Gujarat. You will go, when you will go, you will find it. So therefore, that's how the whole pastime is there, in which Krishna is pleasing his devotees. We learned that how Krishna wanted to reciprocate with his devotees, how Krishna protects his devotees through the pastimes of Nand Maharaj, and how Krishna always care for his devotees. And we say, na, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha doshkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That we see that how Krishna protects paritranaya sadhanam. How Krishna protects his devotees, vinashaya cha dushkritam. How Krishna kills the demon. That's how he establishes the religious principle. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you all of you for very patiently hearing all the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Although there were too much, I covered very quickly. So
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very sorry to give you this much chapters together. It is very difficult till you wonderfully explained each of the chapters and the pastimes, the leelas. Thank you very much. So, anybody is having any questions or any comments, please. Hare Krishna. Any comments or any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam,
Hundred
Prabhuji.
pranams.
Thank you so much for explaining.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you so much for beautifully narrating the Mathura Leela of Lord Krishna. I think 2 points come very clearly. Is that in the case of the washerman, actually he missed the opportunity to serve Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. Whereas the garland maker used the opportunity to serve Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. And you beautifully mentioned that we should always use every single opportunity to serve the lordships, and that Lord Krishna is the perfect master, and he reciprocates so beautifully. Ye yatamam prabhatyante. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for beautifully narrating so many pastimes of Lord Krishna in the Mathura Leela. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Hare Krishna. Prabhuji is already late now, already 10:30 there. So, Amalarjun Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Amalarjun Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, can you give a vote of thanks to Prabhuji?
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again for this wonderful session that you have narrated, and we value your association in Kanyadesh, and you have taken a lot of pains in beautifully explaining so many aspects from the Canto 10, chapter 40 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and also about the Akruras, how Akrura, got the glimpse of the supremacy of the lordships. So we would like to have your association more often in Kanyadesh Prabhuji. So thank you once again. So we will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times for Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Purushottam ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. We will
Thank you,
be
Prabhuji.
meeting you in future. Please keep us as in our schedule always. And
Yes.
thank you very much, Kanagam Chaitanya Prabhu, for introducing Prabhuji to all of us. So wonderful association. We will do Vanchakalpa, Ashna Pranam, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
Kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo
namo Anantapodi
Ananda Kodi
Vaishnava ki
Vaishnava
jai.
Jai. Jai.
Bhagavatam ki jai. Purushottam ki jai. His grace Sri Karta ki jai. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. We will be continuing our Arati and followed by Bhagavad Gita's class. And tomorrow we'll be continuing the rest of the chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. And tomorrow we'll have His Grace Govardhana Giridhari Prabhu. So welcome you all at 7 p.m. And tomorrow is Ekadashi, and we are planning a special Ekadashi chanting session also from 5:30 onwards. So those who are interested to part of the chanting, you can join at 5:30. And we will be starting our class. And Sadananda Shyam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.